Hello, friends. Welcome back. Today we're diving into letter 3 of the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. If you've been following along so far, you'll know this is a series of letters from Screwtape, a senior demon writing to his nephew Wormwood, a junior tempter, as he tries to pull a man away from God. So let's go ahead and get into it. In this letter, Screwtape shifts his tactics in a really subtle way. Instead of going after big, dramatic conflict, he tells Wormwood to focus on small irritations. Tone of voice, little habits, minor frustrations. The goal is not an explosion, it's slow, steady resentment. Because those small moments, they happen every single day. Lewis makes the powerful observation here that family is the perfect target. We often treat strangers with more kindness than we do our own family. Think about it. We're polite, patient, measured with people we barely know. But at home, that's where the irritation slips out. That's where the tone changes. That's where we're the least guarded. And Screwtape knows this, so he tells Wormwood to lean into that. This isn't about huge arguments, it's about little moments. A mother says something she genuinely means as helpful, but it comes across as criticism. And the response isn't explosive, it's just sharp. A slight edge in the voice, a quick dismissive reply. Nothing that would look terrible if you wrote it down, but in the moment it lands like a jab. And over time, those little jabs stack up. Now let's bring this into marriage because this is where it often hits hard. The same pattern shows up between husbands and wives. A comment that sounds harmless on paper. Oh, you're doing it that way? Or I thought you were going to take care of that earlier. Or that's not how I would have done it. It's not a blow up, but it's not neutral either. It's subtle, it's precise, and if we're honest, sometimes it's intentional. It's the kind of comment that lets us say, I didn't mean anything by that, but the other person feels it immediately, like a knife wrapped in politeness. Why is this so dangerous? Lewis is showing us something really important here. The enemy doesn't always need big moments. He just needs consistent, subtle erosion. Because over time, those small comments create distance, defensiveness, misunderstanding, resentment, and eventually division. Not because of one major failure, but because of 100 small ones. So why do we do this? Why do we fall into this? A lot of this comes down to familiarity. We're closest to these people, which means that we also feel the least filtered. We assume they'll understand. We assume it's not a big deal. We assume it won't land the way that it does, but it does. And over time, those assumptions cost us. So here's where we flip it. If the enemy works through subtle jabs, then we fight back with intentional grace. That means choosing patience when irritation is easier, choosing kindness when sarcasm is tempting, choosing clarity instead of passive comments. It means asking, is what I'm about to say going to build this person up or quietly tear them down? Because the difference is often small in wording, but massive in impact. Now, here's where Lewis takes this to an even deeper level. He brings it into prayer. Screwtape tells Wormwood to pay close attention to how the patient prays for his mother. Not to stop him from praying, but to subtly reshape the way that he prays. Instead of praying for her as a whole person with humility and love, he begins to focus on the things about her that irritate him. So his prayers start to sound spiritual, but underneath they're critical. Lord, help her to be less controlling. Help her to see things more clearly. Help her to change in these specific ways. On the surface, that sounds like a good prayer, but what's really happening? He's no longer bringing his own heart before God. He's putting his mother on trial. And Screwtape loves this. Because now the prayer becomes innocuous. It looks spiritual, but it's actually feeding irritation instead of healing it. Lewis is exposing something really uncomfortable here. It's possible to pray and still be completely missing the point. The better prayer, the dangerous prayer, from the enemy's perspective is, Lord, change me. Show me where I'm wrong. Help me love her the way you do. Because that kind of prayer doesn't fuel division. It transforms the heart. In this letter, Lewis reminds us that some of the greatest damage in our lives comes from small, everyday moments handled poorly. So whether it's with a parent, a spouse, or a child, let's choose words that bring life. Next week, we'll be diving into letter 4, where Screwtape shifts the focus to the patient's inner spiritual life. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next Friday.